Please welcome the Commander, Air Combat Command, General Mike Holmes.
All right, thanks everybody. It's good to see you. Good afternoon. Days like today are days that make you glad that you're still in the Air Force 38 years later. To get the chance to spend some time in a community like this, honoring a man like Mr. Green, to get this chance to spend some time walking around at the statics with the great airmen from both the 23rd Wing and the 93rd AGAL, to get to spend some time with you doing this rare ceremony are days that make it worth still getting out of bed and still coming to work every day as an old man. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to do it. I want to thank Chief Batten, my wingman and the Command Chief of Air Combat Command for being here with us, and then lots of old friends that I see in the crowd. You know, success has many fathers, they say, so it's great to see both Colonel Curley, the OG that trained the squadron and sent them downrange, and Colonel Hoffman, their boss downrange. I'm glad you could both be here to have a chance to be a part of this ceremony, and it has many mothers too, Jen, for the leadership that goes into putting this whole thing together. But to everybody from the 74th that are here, for everybody that had a part in building this team, for everybody that was a part of the team downrange in different ways that have showed up, I'm glad to see you here. And I know that because of PCS season and the way it works, there are folks that are already moved on to their next station or to their next job. Some of them are here and have made their way back, some aren't, but on behalf of all of them, we'll think about them as we go through this ceremony. The Gallant Unit Citation is the second highest honor that can be bestowed on an Air Force unit, second only to the Presidential Unit Citation. It's awarded to units for extraordinary heroism in action against an armed enemy of the United States while engaged in military operations involving conflict with an opposing foreign force on or after September 11th, 2001. That's the criteria, fairly simple. How many squadrons have lived up to that since the time we've created it? You're the fifth one. So it's quite an award. It's something that you guys can be really proud of as a team. And I had the chance to read through the citation. I also had the chance to read through the individual accomplishment awards that are being forwarded and nominated for members of the squadron, and it's impressive. But what I want to talk about for a minute is the chance that I have to be here in some small way for a little part of this A-10 team. So you guys are blessed to have had the opportunity to go meet the criteria spelled out in that Presidential Unit Citation in an airplane that was made for the moment as part of a team that was built and trained and made for the moment. So you brought that together with an ops maintenance team, with TAC-Ps downrange, with a command and control structure that was set up to put you in the right place, to be able to take everything you learned and put it to use in this opportunity. And in my exposure to the A-10 community over the time I've been around in the Air Force, in the last couple of years, one of the first things I did as the Air Combat Command Commander was I got to be part of a ceremony to award a Silver Star that was being upgraded from a DFC from Iraqi Freedom. Last year I got to be there to present a couple of DFCs to A-10 pilots from the 355th Wing, and then see those same two pilots again at the McKay Trophy in Washington that went to the most meritorious flight in the U.S. Air Force last year. And this is what I hear when I'm at those ceremonies. I hear people say things like, I came off the target in the direction of the friendly forces as I had been taught to do. And I trace that back to the culture of the aircraft and the culture of the mission that knows that every little thing is important and every detail is important, and it's taken on itself to make sure that that lore and those individual detailed skills of the craft are passed down from generation to generation. Older pilots passing it down to younger pilots to make sure that everybody is completely focused on that one mission. So I understand you deployed with a very young squadron, with a lot of members of the squadron that were facing their first combat, which is a tribute not just to your commander, but to the flight commanders and the instructor pilots that worked to get them ready before you left and to put people in the right place to be successful downrange. I understand that you employed most of your weapons within feet of friendly forces on the ground. I understand you went through pretty much all the preferred munitions that we had allocated to you and were placed in the theater to be used and had to move over to your second and third choices in some cases and figure out how to put them to use and to keep going with your mission. So I'm not surprised by what you accomplished, but I have to tell you that I am impressed. So I'm very happy that I got the chance to come be a part of this ceremony. I'm proud of the entire team. I'm proud again to be a part of this culture and this organization that people want to belong to. If you look across Air Combat Command, if you look at retention and the things that I have to look at as the Air Combat Commander, the highest retention rate, the highest indicators are in the A-10 force. And so I sit around with my wing commanders and the NAF commander and the folks and we talk about it, and I think the reason goes back to where I started. It's a culture that people want to be a part of. It's a culture that takes it on, the people in the team take it on themselves to instill that culture and make sure everyone's a part of it. And everybody on this team, ops, maintenance, munitions, weapons loaders, TACPs, feel like valued members of a high-performing team that does something critical to our nation. So I'm proud of you. I'm really honored that I have the opportunity to be here and be a part of this award ceremony. Thanks to the distinguished guests, General Zobrist, Chief Wade, also for joining us here today. And let's present this certificate. Thanks.